Good afternoon, distinguished guests, comrades, gentlemen, and ladies of the press. On the state of the nation, Comrade Engineer Festus Osifo, President, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. Comrade President, sir.
Solidarity forever. The Deputy President One of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, the Secretary General Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, the Trustee Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, the Chairperson TUC Women Commission, members of various affiliates of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria here this afternoon. I say good afternoon to gentlemen of the press. You are welcome. But thank God we are here to kickstart this particular press conference. Gentlemen of the press, the press conference is literally about the state of the nation. So we are here to proceeding to the one that is currently affecting literally everybody today. The very first one that we'll talk about is the issues that are bordering on consequential adjustment. As of today, if you could recall, a few weeks back, at the federal level, there was an agreement reached between the Joint Negotiating Council and the head of Civil Service, or Salary and Wages Commission, also included, on what the consequential adjustment for the new minimum wage should be. Because as we have often opined, that what is much more important, beyond what the value or what the figure of the new minimum wage is the consequential adjustment, because that is what literally affects everybody that are workers. Because the minimum wage is for grade level 1, step 1. But for someone who is an assistant director, a deputy director, a director, a senior officer in the civil service, what affects that person literally is that consequential adjustment. And that of the national has been carried out, but we realize that several states, they have not even started the conversations around consequential adjustment. And for us, that is key. It is key because, as you know, the economy is biting hard. Things are relatively difficult. And that was one of the ways we could have ameliorated the challenges that workers are subjected to. So we are hereby calling on all the states of the Federation to quickly dispense with the issues of consequential adjustment. And it must also be done in good faith. It must be done in good faith. It must be done with all level of transparency, so that the workers at the state level, as well as the workers in FCT, would start enjoying the impact of the consequential adjustment. Then, having said that, as we rightly noted, that yesterday there was an increment of the pump price of PMS, what we literally referred to as the full-scale deregulation of the downstream sector of the petroleum and gas industry. As you could recall, kerosene, that is popularly referred to as DPK, Jet A1, and AGO, popularly referred to as diesel, had literally been deregulated several years ago. So what was remaining was the PMS. And if you recall vividly, comrades, that when the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria assumed the mantle in Eagle Square on the 28th of May, sorry, on the 29th of May, 2023, you remember the famous word, subsidy was gone. It's actually those three words that made up that clause, or rather no, it is a clause, because gone is there, which is an active verb. So those three words actually, had caused a lot of challenges in our economy in the past 1 year plus. So when the president announced that subsidy was gone on that particular day, really, subsidy was gone. Really, we started buying PMS, started from somewhere around 580 to 600, then thereabouts to about 700 naira. At that point, June, July, August last year, it was actually correct that subsidy was gone. Because as at that time, we were not paying subsidy again. But remember that the exchange rate as of June, July last year was somewhere around between 650 to about 750 naira to a dollar. So as long as the exchange rate was within that range, there was no subsidy at that time. So as we progressed down, as the exchange rate moved to about 800 and 900 naira to a dollar, subsidy was reintroduced. Then different conversations and adjustments started. The exchange rate moved down sometime this year to where it is now, to about 8,600 plus to USD. So immediately the exchange rate moved, then there was now various levels of adjustment, like the one that was done about 3 weeks ago. Even when that was done 3 weeks ago, there was still subsidy. Because as at then, NNPC was the sole off-taker from Dangote refinery, and NNPC was not selling to the marketers at a subsidized rate. So there was still subsidy. If you all remember, in Pengasan, as you know, I doubled as Pengasan president. So we had a press conference in Lagos about 2 weeks ago, where we dwell on these issues between the federal government, Dangote refinery, and NNPC. We dwelt on it sufficiently to provide some level of clarity. While as then, NNPC was the single off-taker. It was literally because the subsidy was still there. But remember, what brought about the subsidy that was gone in June is actually the exchange rate. And if you remember very well, in TUC, we have been very, very consistent. In February, in March, we addressed you all. And we were shouting, we were pushing to say that the elephant in the room, the greatest challenge today is actually the devaluation of our naira, the weakness of our naira. If you go to different parts of the world, you go to America today, go to England, when their currency is weakening, when you go to the shops, you are going to realize that the cost of goods will increase. So, the major thing that has literally affected us today has been that exchange rate. Remember, when the official exchange rate was 360 naira to a dollar, it stabilized there for a very long time. If you remember that the cost of, or the price of AGO, popularly referred to as diesel, was somewhere around 250 naira. The price of diesel was 250 naira. The reason was because the exchange rate was 360 naira to a dollar. But today, the price of diesel hover between 1,200 to 1,400. The reason it oscillates between that is because our exchange rate has plummeted to where it is today. So that has been the biggest devil and the biggest elephant in the room. So, comrades, as we progress, when we talk about energy security, there are three principal things that we dwell on when you talk about energy security. One is the energy available. Two is the energy accessible. Three is the energy affordable. These are the three things. Because if energy is not available, even when the price is cheap, you cannot have access to it. Even when the price is cheap, you now have little supply. That means no availability. What is going to happen at the end of the day is that you are going to have speculators. You are going to have the demand. So the higher demand will be chasing very few, reduced quantity. So availability is key. If you remember, even when PMS, for example, was selling for 160 naira per liter, whenever it is not available, whenever the quantity reduces, what happens to the price? You have marketers, they will start increasing the prices. In fact, in some places, they will leave 165 naira in the pump, but they will not be using calculator to calculate for you because you will buy more. By then, you are going to have black marketers who are profiteering from the system. The reason is because the energy is not available. The product is not available. So when it's not available, you always have distortion in the market. So we must do everything possible to address the availability. Today, the challenge that we are facing today, that you still see queues, even when the last time the price was increased. But we still have queues, literally, in every part of Nigeria. The reason we have queues in every part of Nigeria is because of the non-availability. Because if you look at this chart, we obtained it from our members that are Pengassan members, that is an affiliate of TUC, working in NMDPROA. Remember, NMDPROA is the regulator of the downstream sector of the oil and gas industry. If you look at the truckload from Dangote refinery, since we started obtaining this product from Dangote, if you look at it, it is somewhere average of about 8 million liters per day. That is what we get out from Dangote refinery. So I can avail members of the press a copy. So this is what we get out from Dangote refinery. So because we get this out from Dangote refinery, and literally, importation was paused. So, but our daily consumption as a country, at a time it was put at 50 million liters per day. At a time it was put at 45 million liters per day. But we think that with about 35 million liters, we should be fine and we should be okay as a country. So, if what we need as a country per day is 35 million liters, and what is shipped out from Dangote refinery is average, because at times you have 11 million liters, at times you have 5.09 million liters, 8.55 million liters. But this is not sufficient. It cannot take us as a country. So because of what we ship out from Dangote refinery on a daily basis is not sufficient, that is actually why today we still have queues cut across all parts of the country. because of the issue we talked about earlier, the issue of availability. Then also, on the issue of accessibility, at the time, it was only NNPCL that was the sole off-taker from Dangote refinery. When you talk to Ipman, they tell you that they don't have access to get this product out from the refinery. When you talk to Mema, when you talk to Dapman, the story literally was the same. So we had challenges regarding accessibility. Then the last one is the issue that dwells on affordability. And affordability is key to us because energy PMS today in Nigeria literally is used by every single household. Even a household that doesn't have a car, you are going to have a pass my neighbor generator because of our light issues as a country. The welder on the street, the vulcanizers that are working literally everywhere, literally depends on this product to be able to survive. The barber that is out there depends on this product. So, PMS cut across every strata of a society, from the rich, the middle class, and the poor. So, it's one thing that is key for the survival of an average Nigerian. So, the issue of affordability is key. And as we have said, that the affordability today, the major challenge in that affordability today is actually the exchange rate. If the sector is fully deregulated and our exchange rate is 1,200 naira to $1, PMS today will be selling for below 700 naira. With the effect of Dangote coming on stream, even with 1,200. And all scholars cut across the nook and cranny of the world, they have said that our naira is undervalued. So this is why in April we started shouting, because we saw the danger that is coming. We started shouting that government must do everything possible to strengthen the naira. It is not just about the PMS. It is even much more than that. Literally everything that we consume in Nigeria, we import. Even the food that we eat, the fertilizer we use in producing the food. Yeah, today we have most of fertilizer companies in Nigeria, but there's a dollar component as well in it. So that is the real challenge. That is the real issue. So having laid all these foundations for us to properly understand where the challenges are. So we want to place the following demand to government. And this demand is going to be placed along the following line. Along the line of availability, accessibility, and affordability. Because these are the three key requirements for us to have energy security in Nigeria. So, for the very first one, accessibility. As Dangote refinery is today, we want government to, through the regulator of the industry, NMDPRO, to give licenses to all marketers to source for products from Dangote refinery if he has the volume to give to us in Nigeria today, the 35 million liters minimum per day that we consume. So that let all marketers be able to access these products, bring these products to their respective stations that are cut across the nook and cranny of Nigeria. That is number one, regarding accessibility. Then the second one that touches on availability. First, we need to know what is the production capacity of Dangote refinery today. We understand that we need, the refinery capacity is 50,000 barrels per day. We understand that. Our full production, that could give us maybe something in excess of 50 million liters. But today, what do we produce? So today, what is the production level of Dangote refinery? Do we have the capacity today that will be able to go across the nook and cranny of Nigeria? One thing is to produce. Another thing is to evacuate. So even if today, Dangote refinery is producing 35 million liters, do we have the capacity to be able to evacuate 35 million liters per day from that refinery? So that question, we call on the regulator to provide us with that answer. We must know, do we have the quantity in country that will be able to resolve the issues of availability? If we don't have the quantity in country, we want government and through the regulator to be able to speed up all the necessary support and approvals to Dangote refinery to be able to get to that level where we could have excess of 40 million liters per day. It is key. Because if it is not available, it's a problem. But if, for example, the production today from Dangote refinery is, let's assume, 15 million liters, it is not sufficient. So, while efforts are being made to ramp up production from Dangote refinery, what we are demanding is that we should look for every other means. As we are ramping up production, the difference, we should solve for that difference and bring it in for a while until Dangote is able to get to that level where the production will be sufficient to go across the nook and crannies of Nigeria. So for us, that is key, because that will sufficiently address the issues that borders on availability. Then the last one is the issue bordering on affordability. And that of what we have demanded before is still the same thing that we are demanding today. An affiliate of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has actually placed that demand about 2 weeks ago at 12. Like I said here, if government today makes a special intervention in that sector by as giving effects to Dangote refinery at 1,200 naira to $1, PMS price today is going to crash much more below 700 naira to per liter of PMS. So the demand is that government should create a special FS scheme for that purpose. There is no government in the world that doesn't intervene in its critical sector. And the critical sector in this case is the energy sector. We shouldn't leave it to the vagrancies, to the seesaw of our naira. We shouldn't leave it to the vibration and the gyrations today that we are having regarding our naira. So when that special intervention is done, the PMS price will even go below. It is going to go below where it was moved from. It was moved from about 800 naira plus. But when that intervention is done, it's going to go sub 700 naira. So, gentlemen of the press, that is our demand to government. 3 things. 1, affordability. So, we must be able to buy these products. We want the price of the product to go even sub below where it was before. Not just reverse even where it was before. But it will go below if we attend clearly to the issues that are bordering on FX. Some of you may ask, why FX again? Government said they are selling crude to Dangote refinery using, with our local currency, naira. But, you know, crude is priced in international product. So it's actually priced in USD. But all you now do is that you have to convert the value from the USD to local currency. So the question is that, what is the exchange rate you are using to do that conversion? Is it the NAFEM exchange rate? Because something must be used to convert. That exchange rate today, as we know, is NAFEM exchange rate. That is bordering around 1,600 naira plus. But government can intervene in that sector by what we have opined earlier. If that is done, in that case, you are not subsidizing even consumption. You are subsidizing production. That will even help Dangote refineries to even employ more Nigerians and make its operations much more efficient. And that will crash the PMS price to where it was as at June last year. Thank you so much, gentlemen of the press. We appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, there's 3 questions.
Okay, we will just attend to a few questions in no particular order.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Oga, you're number 1. Friday is 2. I can see one gentleman from the back. John Bosco, 3. I think this will be all.
3 is okay now. 3 is okay.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, comrades and gentlemen of the press. I will start with the very last question. John Bosco, I don't think you were listening attentively when we were making the presentation. That what we are demanding for is even much more. When you say reversal to where? So reversal to 885. That is what you mean by reversal. But the solutions that we are proposing will take us to where we were as of June last year. So which is better? Reversal going to 885, or a solution that is being proposed that, if implemented, is going to take us to the position that or the price that we had as of June last year. I think the latter is even much more better. So it's the semantics. When you say reversal to where? So I think that is a bit clear. Then on the question asking if there is enough crude today, I could answer that vividly because we did some checks with our members, with Pengasan members that are working in NNPCL, that October, November, there is a contract that was signed between Dangote refineries and NNPCL. And in that contract, they are to deliver, I think it's about 17 million barrels of crude to Dangote refineries. And that translates into about 442,000 barrels of crude per day. So if Dangote refinery today is refining that 442,000 barrels of crude every day, we are going to be having over 35 million liters that will definitely go around the nook and crannies of Nigeria. So what that means is that the issue today is not about crude, because the crude supply end has been tidied. There are contracts between Dangote and NNPCL today, and that obligations are being met. In fact, as we speak, yesterday I got some pictures from members of Pengasan showing vessels that are meant for Dangote refineries that are being docked. Docked means are yet to be offloaded. So what that means is that the crude availability is there. But you should understand something, that Dangote refinery is a very large refinery. It's a very big refinery, and when you are doing the commissioning process, you don't commission everything in a single day. So you start gradually. So from what we understood, if you remember, when the operation started, they started with AGO, that is diesel. It was later they now migrated to start producing PMS. So what that means clearly is that in commissioning process, you don't do everything in a single fall. You start doing the introduction gradually, and you'll be ramping up production. So today, production is being ramped up. Like the person that asked about our members being in the refinery, I showed you that was how we knew the quantity that is being evacuated. But our members does not own trucks. Our members will not know how many trucks are in Nigeria. So our members does not work in the maritime sector. So our members does not have tankers that will come from overseas to be able to ship this product from Lekki, for example, to Calabar, from Lekki, for example, to Port Harcourt. So our members will not know that. So clearly, the information in our disposal today, which I've read, these are the quantities that are being offloaded on a daily basis. So that is fully known by our members, and that is why we have this data that we have presented to you this afternoon. But in terms of the logistics on how to evacuate, that is not the function of our members, because truck owners varies. So is the problem today, is it because of trucking? Let's assume Dangote Refinery is producing 35 million liters per day. Do we have the trucks to be able to evacuate them? Why are we not using maritime systems by bringing in more tankers to be able to evacuate? Is it that the jetties that we have, that these tankers could berth to take this product? Is it that these jetties, they are not sufficient? So those are the questions that we are asking. And that is the function of the regulator. It is not the function of the trade unionist. It's not the function of the trade union. It's actually the function of the regulator. That is why those regulators are created. So it is their responsibility to let us know. Yes, our members are working there. We could get unofficial information, but they should put the official information out there, because that is necessary and that is key. Then in terms of the Port Harcourt refinery, as you know, several dates have been given on when the refineries will start. Several dates have been given, but those dates have not been met. The only thing that we can confirm today is that work is actually going on in the refinery. If you go to Port Harcourt refinery, a lot of work is actually going on there. You have over 2,000 people hired by the contractors that are working in the facility. If today, for example, you know, the Port Harcourt refinery we have been talking about that will come into product or operations is actually the old Port Harcourt refinery. The quantity that it will add to our stream is very limited. So let's not be lost with the fact that if Port Harcourt refinery start working today, the PMS challenge will be solved. No. I'm not sure that the total PMS that will come out from that old Port Harcourt refinery will be up to 5 million liters. But it is good. It needs to work. Even if it is serving just the South region, it is okay. So it needs to work. Even if it's 2 million liters that it is bringing into the stream, it is something. It needs to work. So even as they are working on the old Port Harcourt refinery, effort must also be made. They are also working on the new one as well. But when it will come on stream, we cannot ascertain that. But from our members of Pengasan that are currently in the refinery, supervising most of the contractors that are there, they give us reports periodically that the refineries, that they are working, but they've not been able to meet the timeline. So there is no way we can, it's government that should tell us when the refineries would work. But all we know as of today is that there is work going on there, but when it will come on stream, we will not be able to ascertain that. Okay, I think literally, we've attempted to go through, we've attempted to the Port Harcourt refinery working, the issue of exchange rate and affordability. I think we've also talked about that. I think literally we've gone through it. Thank you so much, gentlemen of the press. We appreciate it. There is victory for all. is victory for us.
In the struggle
For our members, there is victory for us. Forward ever, backward never. In the struggle for our members, there is victory.
Solidarity
forever.
Luta
Continua.
Victoria.
Etc.
Thank you, comrade.